Welcome back, folks. Now, I have Team Summit joining me this morning, and actually we're going to be talking about one of their programs that I was unaware of, which is their Big Mountain Skiing program. So I have Daniel, Rudy, and Tanner joining me this morning. So now, Daniel, you're obviously the coach.
I'm young, but I do get to coach the even younger ones.
Actually, can you hold up the microphone?
I'm young, but I get to coach the even younger ones.
Now, like how I said, I was unaware that there was a big mountain skiing competition. So I feel kind of everyone sort of sees the racers and the freestylers because they're always sort of down at the bottom of the base area. Can you tell us a little bit more about the program and what big mountain skiing and competition is like in general?
Yeah, so the program basically with Team Summit anyway, we train off-piste basically, no groomers, and then our scope is basically skiing fast and jumping off rocks and just having fun. And then as far as competition goes, it's much like racing or moguls or park and pipe in that we have a defined venue, and then it is a judged sport. So athletes are judged on their style, their technique, their control, and just kind of overall how well they skied a venue at any given point. We travel to places like Taos, New Mexico. I leave for Red Mountain, British Columbia, third week of January. But locally, we have Arapahoe Basin. What turns out at the end of January, we have a competition basically every week throughout somewhere in the nation.
Now, you had mentioned, so you still have a part of the mountain is roped off for you guys, so you still have that venue, and you still kind of have some of the same or similar tasks to like a half pipe. However, all of this is not groomed terrain, right?
Correct.
None of it's created.
Correct. Nothing is created. It's actually a strict rule that no terrain enhancement. You basically have to ski it as it is. It's very much free in that fact. There's no man-made features, and you just kind of have to do your best to make the mountain what you see of it.
Now, I imagine you guys have to get really used to skiing on all different kinds of snow conditions that way, because you're not dealing with corduroy ever, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the types of snow that you've encountered?
Like Sierra Cement, which is like this super hard snow to ski, and it's like you can never grasp an edge. And then there's like this.
Can you hold it up a little bit more? Yeah.
And then there's also like just the powder. Sometimes we ski at different resorts.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely varies too. And it gets all skied out, and then it gets tougher.
I mean, it gets skied out throughout the competition, throughout the day?
So if you're like very last, it's going to be very skied out and kind of hard to ski.
So I imagine it's just kind of maybe through experience of being in these competitions, you start to get a sense of like, okay, gauging upon how many people have gone down, the sun, the wind, you're like, this is what I anticipate.
Yeah, definitely everything varies into how it plays out.
So you pretty much have to be ready for anything when you're going out. Now, it's Rudy, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so now how did you get into big mountain skiing? I mean, again, I feel like the ones that we always see are the freestylers and the racers.
I got into big mountain skiing. I used to do park and pipe, so I used to do like the big jumps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just always had
I've
always had a passion for skiing like very steep stuff and going fast, and so that really brought me into the big mountain program.
And how long have you been in the big mountain program?
This is my third year.
And is it fun?
It's so fun.
I knew it was going to be yes. And then Tanner, how about yourself? How did you get into big mountain skiing?
I just didn't really like.
Can you hold it up?
I didn't really like park anymore, so
Yeah.
I wanted to do something where you could do park sometimes and then still do big mountain.
Okay, so kind of similar movements, similar fun, but I think Daniel, as you had mentioned, there's like a little more freedom for being expressive.
Yeah, definitely. They both came from park and pipe. Tanner even has a little bit of racing background. I even raced till I was 17 before I switched. So that's kind of the allure from a lot of kids that make it into the big mountain program. They get fed up with either skiing moguls or park and pipe or racing. And it's an opportunity to take those same skills but just translate them into a different format. That's much more fun and free.
Yeah, and I imagine that really like kind of has to expand yourself as an athlete because it's like especially if you've started off in Team Summit as a racer. I don't know. I think Tanner, you said that you started off in park. Were you in Team Summit?
Yeah.
Were you in Team Summit before?
I was with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I imagine it was a way for you just kind of like, okay, I'm a much better athlete than this. I need to express myself even more.
Yeah, after a while of just like hiking the park and just taking park laps all day, you just wanted to ski some steep stuff and just have fun. Mm-hmm. So Big Mountain is basically just that.
Now, was there a particular moment when you were out there on the big mountain that you realized, oh yeah, I need to get into this?
Yeah, I think any powder day that you have that's skiing steep stuff, that's where you really notice how fun this is.
Yeah.
And it's way better than like any other event, in my opinion.
How about for you, Tanner? What was your moment of like, oh yeah?
On powder days, we used to skip school when we were doing park, so we would go ski like the bowls and copper and stuff, and that was the best part for me.
So more powder in
Yeah.
Big Mountain than in the terrain part. That sounds about right. Now, Daniel, going back to you now, if people want to find out more about just the Big Mountain Ski program, like I said, I was unaware of this, and I think, again, most of the time the venue for it is just not right there in your site if you're out on the resort. But if people want to just check it out, also maybe if they have someone, a kid that might be interested in it, what do they do?
So, first way, if you have an athlete or a kid that wants to get into big mountain skiing or Team Summit in general, website is teamsummit.org. It takes some navigating to find the appropriate web page, but if you go to programs, go to free ski, eventually you'll find the Big Mountain program. That has details about what we do and kind of program costs and everything. But then also a couple great resources are, if you look up IFSA, which is our governing body for competitions, you can see videos from previous competitions and kind of see what it's like in a competition. It's super fun. It's some of the top athletes are very impressive, even at 17, 18 years old, or even 14 years old like these two. And then lastly, locally, if you ever can make it out there, February 8th and 9th, we have competitions at Arapahoe Basin.
Okay.
And then the third week of March, we have an event on Peak 6 in Breckenridge.
Okay.
And they're both super accessible venues. Anybody can get there, really. And so if you actually want to see it in person and root on the kids and kind of be a part of the super fun community, that is a great way to do it locally.
Well, it sounds like also a great way to, you go, when you're going out to the bars and restaurants, you see all the ski movies on. It's like, this is like alive.
Exactly.
Sounds like it'd be like watching a live ski movie.
Exactly. I used to describe big mountain skiing as, the stuff they do in the movies and everything?
Yeah.
It's like that, except we just do it on hard pack usually. And yeah, but it's still great fun. Eventually I think the goal, everybody wants to be in a movie, but this is just a...
Yeah. Well,
we
get you
just add
ready.
numbers
Get you
to it.
ready.
Yeah, exactly.
The next thing is to work on your GoPro skills.
Yep.
And editing.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming by and again letting us know more about another great program of Team Summit. There's so much going on over there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, folks, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Don't go anywhere. We've got Andy still over at Alpine Sports in Brack. We're going to hear from some of the resorts about the new terrain that has opened up due to all the powder days that we had this past weekend, so stay tuned.